Okay, today we're jumping into something really quite profound. Henning Mankell's Chronicler of the Winds.
Mm,
It's a story that, yes, it's devastating, but it's also just this masterclass in, well, philosophical survival.
it really is.
We're focusing on the story of a 10-year-old boy, Nelio, and it's told over 9 nights
Mm.
in agonizing detail.
And the telling itself is fascinating. We get it from José Antonio Maria Vaz. He starts out as our narrator, but he very quickly becomes the chronicler himself.
Right.
And he's telling the story from, a place of real despair. He's given up his life as a baker. He's just sitting on this rooftop.
Described as sun-scorched, reddish clay.
Exactly, calling himself the chronicler of the winds, and he says his only audience is the monsoon. It's quite a setup.
That setting feels so important, and our mission here, it isn't just to, follow the plot. We want to try and pull out the wisdom, the moral framework Nelio builds in this short, really brutal life.
Yeah.
It feels like the ultimate case study, this split between just surviving what the world throws at you and actively seeking some kind of deeper personal meaning.
And all of this plays out against this backdrop of a city that's just chaotic, swelling, clinging to the slopes above this wide estuary.
Precarious is the word that comes to mind.
Totally precarious. It's always growing, people flooding in from the interior, often, finding nothing they hoped for. No stability, no real opportunity.
So it's almost like a refugee camp that's just become a city.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, constantly sort of metastasizing and always on the edge.
And right in the middle of this chaos, we have this slightly manic family, right? Don Joaquim Leonardo dos Santos and his daughter, Dona Esmeralda.
Ah, Dona Esmeralda, the eccentric bakery owner. She's described as eternally 90-year-old, always speeding around town, running the Teatro Avenida.
The theater, yeah.
But she inherited more than just a theater, didn't she? It's this whole legacy of, absurdity, rooted in fraud, really.
Her father, Don Joaquim, the municipal governor. He had this thing for equestrian statues.
He did. But instead of commissioning new ones, he just imported monuments of, poppled foreign dictators in general.
Seriously?
Yeah. Filed off the original names, engraved his own family name on them. Can you imagine?
Wait, hold on. So the city's symbols of pride, of history, they're literally recycled frauds.
Pretty much. Imported, repurposed lies, basically.
Wow. How does that kind of foundation affect the atmosphere, especially for kids like Nelio?
Well, it creates this sense that nothing's quite real, nothing's permanent, everything can be twisted, used for deceit. The whole city feels fundamentally unstable, built on a lie.
And it's on the roof of her theater, Donna Esmeralda's place, that Nelio's story begins, the 9 nights.
That's right. Vaz finds him shot, bleeding out on the stage itself.
And Nelio, ever the pragmatist, even then, insists on fresh air. On the roof, not medical help.
No, just fresh air. And that's when he starts telling his story, his origins, which are shattering.
He talks about his village, far away, how time was measured differently there.
Yeah, just 2 measures.
Yeah.
When his father was home from the mines and when he was gone. Simple as that.
Until the catastrophe, the bandits arrive.
Ragged, drunk on that local stuff, tantanto. They just attack, burn everything, utter chaos.
The horror he describes.
Yeah.
Especially his sister's death. It's incredibly hard to read.
Hmm.
He talks about the bandit leader, the man with no teeth, using the family's own corn mortar and pounding pole, tools for making food.
Tools of life.
To kill her.
That weaponization of the domestic, it just destroys any sense of safety for Nelio. But the real moral test, the absolute crux, comes later, at the bandit's base.
Right. Another leader, the man with the squinty eyes. He forces Nelio, still just a child, to shoot his own brother, Tico. To prove he's a man, prove allegiance.
It's unthinkable.
And this is the moment. He's barely 10, but he shifts from just surviving to defining his whole moral code. He looks at his crying brother and realizes if he does this, his life will lose all meaning. So he chooses death, his probable death anyway.
He turns the gun.
He turns that heavy gun and shoots the bandit leader instead.
An incredible act. And the book says he runs, but the speed isn't from fear. It's from this sudden, powerful knowledge that he did the right thing.
Right.
His life now has meaning, defined by that impossible choice, and that's what propels him forward.
And that journey alone leads him to his first really strange, powerful mentor figure, Yabubata.
Ah, the white dwarf, an albino blacksmith from the Hunchback Mountains.
But the most memorable thing, that suitcase.
The suitcase, huge, heavy leather thing, but completely empty.
Why empty?
He carries it, he says, in case I find something I have to take along. It's such potent symbolism, isn't it?
It really is. Like he's prepared for purpose, prepared for meaning. But he won't fill his life with junk. He's waiting for the essential.
Exactly. It's like creating space for what truly matters.
Yeah, Yabubata, he's on his own quest, right? Searching for a dream path for almost 20 years.
19 years, yeah. And he shares his wisdom with Nelio, sometimes quite harshly.
What's the core lesson?
It boils down to the two roads. He tells Nelio there are only two roads in life. There's the road of foolishness, which leads a person straight to ruin, which he defines as basically acting against what you know in your heart is right, compromising yourself.
And the other road.
The other road is the one you must follow, the one that leads a person in the right direction. It's not about geography, you see. It's about moral coherence, staying true.
Moral coherence. I like that. And Nelio soon finds a kind of geographical anchor for that idea, doesn't he?
He does. They travel south, and he sees the sea for the first time.
And how does he react? Overwhelmed? Lost?
Not at all. He feels profoundly at home, which is unexpected. And later, arriving in the city, he gets a similar feeling, just from its chaotic silhouette, a sense of belonging.
Interesting. The sea is infinite, vast, yet it offers comfort, connection to something bigger.
But when he gets into the city proper, he quickly learns how comfort, or the appearance of it, can be manipulated.
Right. He briefly falls in with Senor Castigo, the pickpocket.
Yes, who tries to teach him, quote, the basis for all human labor, begging.
And the method is just grim.
Horrible. Castigo would rub a raw onion in Nelio's eyes, make them sting, water profusely, real tears to get sympathy.
So Nelio is basically being used to emotionally manipulate people.
While Castigo picks their pockets, yeah. And Nelio recognizes it immediately. This is that road of foolishness, compromising himself. So he runs again.
He refuses that life. So where does he find actual refuge? This absurd place imaginable.
Inside one of Don Joaquin's statues, those fake equestrian monuments.
He finds a secret hatch.
Yeah, climbs inside the belly of this fraudulent statue and makes it his private sanctuary, his home.
It's the perfect statement against the city's corruption, isn't it? The boy who refused moral compromise finds safety inside a lie.
Absolutely. And it's from here he eventually joins the street gang, run by a kid named Cosmos. There's also Pecado, Tristeza, Nacimiento.
But the gang, they treat Nelio differently, don't they? Almost from the start.
They do. There's this rumor that spreads that Nelio isn't quite human, maybe a god or some kind of street child saint.
Why? What's the reason?
Because he seems untouchable. He just has this uncanny ability to avoid being beaten up. Nobody ever lays a hand on him.
Wow. And that kind of elevated status allows him to move beyond just survival.
Exactly. Into leadership, political, philosophical leadership even. He starts thinking, it's not enough just to get food and water. Dignity needs more.
So what does he decide humans need? To be truly human, escape that poverty.
He settles on two fundamental things, beyond the basics. A roof and an ID card.
That's such a fascinating leap. Not just food, water, shelter in general.
Yeah.
But specifically a roof and an ID card. Why those two?
Well, think about it. A roof isn't just shelter, it's stability. A foundation, something fixed.
Okay, makes sense.
And the ID card. In that chaotic, often stateless environment, it's everything. It's recognition, citizenship, proof of inherent value. Without it, they're invisible, exploitable.
So it's about being seen, being acknowledged by the system.
Precisely. That becomes the gang's ultimate goal under Nelio.
And he gets his chance to lead when the original leader, Cosmos, just leaves.
Yeah, Cosmos gets hit with this deep melancholy, decides to just disappear. The book says he vanished with the ship that had sailed into the sunrise.
Yeah.
And he leaves Nelio in charge, specifically because Nelio was the only one he trusted not to reveal where he went. Loyalty.
So under Nelio, the gang's focus shifts. What do?
Their actions become really philosophical. They're not really interested in big robberies. They want to demonstrate their invisible superiority over the wealthy.
Invisible superiority. How?
Through these brilliant, subtle acts of subversion, they prove they have power by entering the sacred spaces of the elite and doing things the powerful just wouldn't understand.
Like the lizard.
Exactly. Putting a live lizard in some rich businessman's briefcase, it's psychological warfare.
It destabilizes their sense of security. Proves they can get in unseen.
Right. And they got even bolder. They snuck into the presidential palace, heavily guarded.
And what did they do there? The quiet prank.
Alfredo Bomba, the one-armed boy, manages to place a dead lizard on the president's bedside table while he's sleeping.
Did the president see it?
No, that's the genius of it. He never saw the lizard, but he woke up smelling what Nelio called the foul smell of poverty.
Oh, wow.
Security went nuts trying to find the breach, but the violation was purely psychological, symbolic. A reminder that poverty, chaos, it's right there, breathing down their necks.
Incredible. But Nelio's leadership faces challenges too, right?
Yeah.
Especially when he takes in Diolinda.
Yes. Diolinda, Cosmo's sister. She's also albino. She's strong. She can read, which is rare. But Nelio has to work hard to protect her, especially from Nascimento.
Yeah, this brings in the darker side of street life. Albinism carries a heavy stigma there.
It does. She's called Zitjana, which is this deeply derogatory local term. Nelio fiercely forbids it, tries to establish her dignity from the start. But his protection isn't absolute.
No. The source material is pretty clear. Nascimento, the aggressive one, he forces Sogo on her.
A term implying sexual assault, yes.
And in despair, in fury, she just flees the city, disappears.
Gone forever. Leaves behind only the scratches on Nascimento's face, evidence of her fight. Nelio is consumed by guilt, tries to find her, but can't.
It shows the limits of his power, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That road of foolishness. It often wins out in those harsh places.
Tragically, yes.
And then comes the final devastating turn. Alfredo Bomba, the youngest, the one with one arm. He's dying.
An unknown sickness. Nelio gets some medicine, sees a doctor, but it's confirmed. Terminal.
And Alfredo Bomba's last wish. It kind of defines everything.
It really does. He wants to visit this mythical island or river his mother told him about, a place where fear is erased.
And Nelio could have just taken him to a movie, distracted him.
Right, the easy route. But Nelio realizes the boy doesn't need distraction. He needs completion. He needs a truth that feels real.
So Nelio decides they have to create it, a dream that would have the same power as reality.
And the setting is just chillingly perfect. Donna Esmeralda's dark, run-down Tetra Avenida, the very same stage where Nelio himself will be found shot just hours later.
They carry Alfredo Bomba onto the stage.
On a stretcher made from 2 thick broomsticks.
Yeah. And the performance itself.
It's incredibly moving. They use their own breath, mandioca and picado breathing, to simulate the sea wind. Nelio leans over Alfredo, tells him they're sailing, feeling the waves.
Yeah, Alfredo.
He's freed from pain by the medication, maybe a bit delirious. He looks up, smiles. He truly believes it. Says he feels his mother's warm breath on his neck. Sees the second star in Pegasus.
And he dies there, believing the dream.
He dies smiling, yes. Convinced it was real.
And it's right then, in that silence after creating that moment of meaning.
Right then, the violence breaks in. 2 shots ring out in rapid succession. Nelio's thrown back onto the stage, dying at his friend's feet.
Which is how José Antonio Maria Vaz finds him.
Exactly. And Vaz describes those final 9 nights on the rooftop as utterly peaceful. Nelio knows he's dying, but he's composed, calm. He's finished his work, lived a life of meaning.
His final request to Vaz, the baker, it's heartbreaking, but also has this profound dignity.
He asks Vaz to burn his body, to make him disappear, avoid trouble, just says, "My body is so small," trying to control his final narrative even in death.
And Vaz honors that. He becomes the chronicler.
Yes. He recounts the end so beautifully. An errant gust of wind swept its hand across the roof and brought with it a chill. When it departed, Nelio was gone. Poetic serenity.
So Nelio's legacy, the reason Vaz couldn't just forget, it's that Nelio fundamentally changed him, changed the people around him.
He reminded them who they really are. Vaz realizes the boy reminded them they were human beings, each of us bearing secret powers we know nothing about.
And that realization, it meant Vaz could no longer be a baker.
No, his new mission was clear. Tell Nelio's story. Become the chronicler. He knew Nelio's voice, his memory, would not be forgotten. It would become part of the place.
Hover like an invisible note embedded in the wind that ceaselessly blows from the sea.
Exactly. An enduring presence.
Nelio took the absolute worst life could offer and transformed it into this unassailable moral force. Something he knew wouldn't disappear. Which leaves us with a thought, doesn't it? Think about the power of memory, of narrative. When you share a story, maybe one that's painful or joyful or rebellious, does it also get embedded in the wind? Does it alter the world just by being told? That feels like the challenge Nelio leaves for all of us.